If love was more practiced than talked about, we wouldn't have been where we are today as individuals, as families, as a nation, as a society, and as a community. Love is not a function of speaking or words. Love is not about what you read on romantic novels. Love is not about what you watch on soap operas. Love is not about what you see on love movies. Love is not what you have been told and what you've not been told. Love is a function of action. In today's episode on Kenyans on Facebook series, we are focusing on love. We are focusing on the wisdom that is oozing from the heart and mouth of Benjamin Zulu. This is what he said that captured a lot of Kenyans' hearts and minds. My name is Martin, and welcome. One huge sign that someone is unfit or unready to handle your heart or to be trusted with your love is if they cannot communicate consistently. At first, you'll be tempted to think that it's something you can teach them, and sure enough, those who mean well will learn and establish a rhythm of communication. But once you sense that your appeals are consistently being ignored, know for a fact that you're signing up for emotional torment. Neglect is abusive, and most manipulative people ignore you to punish you and keep you chasing after them. As a rule, in any engagement between two parties, it is the elusive party that controls the relationship, while the other one is reduced to running after the first one and putting more and more effort to win its attention. If a person can forget about your existence for a whole day and assume your emotions and your needs, not caring whether you are alive or you might have collapsed or gotten an accident or whatever, don't be so foolish as to chase after them. That neglect is enough communication. Now you have clarity about where you stand in their life. If only you learn to observe people's behavior and stop being confused by their words, you'll soon see very clearly how much you mean to them. And once you observe and discern the truth, don't argue with it. Simply act. This new sharpness will save you from many disappointments. What if we are in a committed relationship or we have children together, you ask? Committed relationships or even marriage covenants are only promises and they cannot meet your needs on their own if the relationship has died. If a person shows you clearly they have vacated the covenant and trashed their promises, you will continue to live in that shell alone with your needs unmet just to stay true to the past. Never let anybody think just because they married you or got a child with you, they can now take you for granted. This is what Kenyans' hearts and minds, responded concerning this post. The first person said, "Thanks for reminding me again as the day starts. If they can't create time for you, it simply it tells you that you are not worthy them. Never beg for someone's attention because you'll ever live in a world where you're not wanted, a world full of intimidation and frustrations." The second person said, "Thanks for this. What a good advice as I start the day. No communication, no nothing." The third person said, "Okay, this communication which can be verbal and non-verbal. And there is talking. If you confuse the two as a woman, you're investing in trouble. Men will always communicate, but mistake many women make, they judge or make conclusions basing on friends' experiences or what they heard, trending in most cases, toxic advice. Then talking by nature, women will talk, Men in most cases hawana maneno mingi, and here is where many fail. Don't expect any magic or juju here to work. You'll speak 100 words, get a three-word response. It's nature, it's creation. All in all, separate communication from talking. And the fourth person said, the big problem is forcing things different to come together. Better to learn and let love flow. Because pushing mismatched people to love you is buying suffering by the money you borrowed. How great hell someone will suffer. Signs tell you what to do. If you keep ignoring, suffering is on to hand. Then number 5 said, this truth is like a pleasurable torment. Nonetheless, I feel like a bum, for I may not be in a position to comply with its demands. Oh goodness, my ignorance amuses me. Then 6, like seriously, they don't care whether you are still alive or you have had a rough day. That is a wake up call. Thanks, Zulu, for opening our minds. Then 7, I once had this son of Manasseh who wouldn't call. When I asked him, he said, I don't even call my mom for a month, and she doesn't complain. Then then I knew I was having a Stone Age man for a boyfriend. After that call, I deleted his number and called it off. Sipende upuzi. Then, lastly, number 8, what has been running through my mind has been answered without me asking. Isn't this a favor? Thanks, Zulu, for the great advice. So, guys, there you have it. Those are the hearts and the minds of Kenya in response to the wisdom oozing from the heart and the mouth of Benjamin Zulu. Here are my closing remarks. This wisdom that is flowing from the heart and the mouth of Benjamin Zulu is spot on. It has potential to transform you as an individual and to transform your relationship and transform your whole family. But here is what I want you to think about. Jesus, one time, when he was talking to the Pharisees, he told them that you cannot put new wine into old wineskin, because what will happen is as the new wine begins to ferment, begins to go, the process of preparation is going to burst the old wineskin, and the new wine is going to be spilled and it will be lost. You see, he also said you cannot take a new piece of cloth and use it to patch an old cloth or an old rag. What happens? The new cloth will tear apart that old cloth. What is written between the lines of this verse? This is it. You can never change in your life until you're ready, until your heart is ready, until your mind is ready, until you have a new wineskin. You are not qualified to receive new wisdom or new ideas or new information. This wisdom from this man is wisdom plus. But here is what I want you to ask yourself. Do you have a heart? Do you have a mind that is ready to be transformed? I see a very interesting, pattern. Like that was with the Pharisees. The Pharisees were self-righteous. They always people seeing mistakes in others, seeing specks in other people's eyes, but they left a log in their eyes. Even in this setup right now here, this wisdom has a lot to offer to you. But I want to ask you a question. Are you that person who comes out of this, forum feeling like I've been justified, I've been the right one, I've been the person who has been, carrying the burden and all that stuff? Or you're coming with the mind of a tax collector, which means you're coming also with an open mind. Also, you need to be corrected and you need to ask yourself, are you the one who has been preventing this communication? Because communication also needs an environment. There are what we call communication barriers, and they could be emotional, mental, or spiritual, that have interfered with proper communication, proper flow of thoughts, emotions, and feelings from your partner to you and from you to your partner. There's something we call confirmation bias in psychology, and this is where you've already made a judgment, you've actually passed a conclusion, you actually reached a verdict that my partner is the one who is wrong, my partner is the one who is evil, and so you come out, but now you want to get a third party opinion that confirms what you've already made a conclusion on. When you're listening to this wisdom, you are either doing it on these two attitudes. Attitude one is that one of the Pharisees who always believed you are the problem or the other person is a problem. I'm okay, he's not okay. Or approach it with the attitude of the tax collector, who went, looking at his own issues, looking at his weak areas or areas of improvement. Either of the two, you'll get what you need. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your presence. And I'll attach a link below this video so that you can follow Benjamin Zulu on his Facebook page. And if you want help, you can get it from him. Others, thank you and see you tomorrow as we do another episode. Thank you.